Welcome back to American Arms Channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Drake. Coming to you again from central Nebraska, but instead of down at the Platte River, we're here in my backyard. I'm enjoying a nice brew, a kombucha, and smoking elk burgers and corn on the cob in the husk on my Pit Boss smoker. But this isn't a review or talking about that, although I'll let you take a look. They're looking pretty dang tasty, and I've got a short moment here before I have to attend to them again. But what I am doing here in my backyard is talking about this unit right here from a company called Magic Eagle. And what it is the Eagle Cam 5, which is a remote cellular service camera with artificial intelligence integration and a pretty fun featured app that allows you to not only view in live time and see photos and videos when critters or people or vehicles are passing by, but also utilize it as a little bit of a security camera. It actually has a speaker on it. You can talk through the app on your phone to this camera, and somebody can have a conversation with you in live time through the camera. So it can be used for security, it can be used for game watching, it can be used for a number of different things. But what I have been utilizing it for here in my backyard is to, one, just test it out, see how it works, but also keep an eye on my boys and see how good or naughty they've been. And well, they tend to be pretty naughty, digging holes and running around, barking at things and being quite silly. But it has been helpful and very eye-opening in that regard. I just haven't had an opportunity since June of 2025 to take it to where I deer hunt and where I turkey hunt and put it to use on some public land. But I do have plans in the very near future to move it down to the river to see what kind of critters come and go by the duck blind. So we'll take a look at that sometime in the future. But without further ado, let's dive into what you get out of the box and how it's performed so far in the past 3 months.
To be completely transparent with you as the audience, this camera was provided free and clear alongside a 3-month subscription of cellular services for the device by Magic Eagle, the manufacturer and seller. They reached out to me and requested some testing and evaluation as they moved it towards market. I think Magic Eagle has a pretty decent product here, and it might be worth your consideration for the price point. I am by no means a subject matter expert when it comes to trail cameras or, for that matter, cellular trail cameras, but I can see high value in this product. So without further ado, let's jump into the features, what's in the box, and those impressions that I've had over the last few months. To start, presentation is very nice, and I would say right up there with the top line brands that you'll find in big box stores throughout the US. The feature sets and capabilities are readily displayed on the box and gives you plenty of information as the purchaser to decide. It's got some good specs, and I'll let you peruse those on Magic Eagle's website if you're interested. But overall, I found the packaging to be very good and solid so that the camera can't be damaged during transit. You've got your setup steps 1 through 4 right there on the front, as well as a QR code to look up and watch and read your instructions to set up, and everything else is packaged underneath that. The camera comes pretty solid in one big block. There is no battery to change out or anything to insert into the camera. Everything's included, including your antenna, your tie-down straps, your power cable, and your solar panel. I actually did not have super high expectations for the solar module that goes with this camera out of the box to not only produce enough power to maintain charge, but to keep on producing. But in fact, it actually did a really bang-up job. Being in my backyard, it wasn't facing south as it needs to in the northern hemisphere. It was actually facing northwest. And regardless of the weather, it has kept that battery topped off, fully charged, and the camera with enough power to stay connected to the internet. One of the key features of this camera is artificial intelligence for species identification and object identification. And with that comes push notifications from the device and your app that you pair with it. Early on, it was quite entertaining as the artificial intelligence did not quite understand what it was seeing. and somehow decided that my dogs were caribou. So I kept getting push notifications identifying them as caribou. And one of the comical points was I had received a notification that said the caribou has been detected. Go check it out. And sure enough, I open up the app, and the first image that pops up is this. The caribou is definitely up to something. Laughs aside, though, over time the AI has significantly improved, and the updates to the app and the camera have made its use fairly seamless. And I actually don't mind the very frequent push notifications because in a game cam or a security cam mindset, you're actually going to want to see what's going on. You're going to want to be reminded to check in, but you can turn those off if you'd like. Use of the mobile application is pretty easy, especially when you want to sort through different time periods and download content. You can scroll through camera, video, photos, recording, and any that you've favorited. You can also filter them with the top right icon. Going to recordings, you can find exactly what you want, whether it's video, or you can go to photos and find the exact one you want by date. You can then select to download in HD or request it in HD as it lists there. And once it's downloaded in HD to the application, you hit the top right icon to save, and it will save right to your device. Pretty simple and straightforward. Viewing the camera feed in live time is pretty simple. Click on the camera or the device you want to select. It'll establish an encrypted connection, and from there, you can utilize all of the live features, hear what's going on, and even use the microphone to talk through the camera. Now, this device has some pretty good features, and it does have an IP66 waterproofing rating for all season use as they display on the website, and I found that to be true. It's withstood some significant weather. The 4G connection's pretty decent, and the SIM card seems to work just fine. I've not experienced any problems with cellular connection, although it is in town, but I do understand that it will be backed up as much as it can hold in its SD card at least until it receives a connection again. There's also GPS tracking functionality, so if somebody were to steal it, you could pretty much figure out where it is in the world as long as you set that feature up inside your app when setting the camera up. And from there, a lot of data that you can just go ahead and pick up on your own looking through it on the website. Now, as far as price point goes, you can see here that it was set at around $120, $130 MSRP, but they've got a special sale for $80 at its introduction here in the end of quarter 3, beginning of quarter 4, 2025. So that is a snapshot in time. But for the feature sets you get, I think that's a pretty decent value. Now, it is worth noting, though, that doesn't come with a free trial necessarily of significant amount of time with the cellular connection, and you're going to have to pay for that regardless. It does become more affordable when you select a longer time period for service, but it is an additional cost. Otherwise, you can use it as a local camera and it will work just the same, is my understanding. You simply won't have internet access with the camera. Well, that's about all I have to say on this edition talking about the Eagle Cam 5. I think it's a pretty decent product, worth consideration if you're looking for something like this, and I definitely appreciate Magic Eagle for sending it along for testing and evaluation. As I continue to use it, I will provide an update in the future with a full review. They continually seem to have improved the product as it moved towards market, and I think it's pretty decent. As always, guys, if you want to ask any questions about the product, leave them in the comments below or find the channel email in the video description. I very much appreciate your viewership, and I look forward to talking to you again in the near future. As always, God bless, keep your powder dry. I'll see you in the next video.